So, what is AI? AI, or artificial intelligence, is technology that collects data and uses that knowledge to improve itself. Artificial intelligence may sound as though it's something from a distant future, but in fact, it's all around us today. Take Netflix, for example. With data from millions of users, it can guess what you're likely to want to see next. It can recognize your face to open your smartphone. And AI can even enable cars to drive autonomously. But what does all of this change mean?
If we look at artificial intelligence, what tells us that it's not just another technology, it is going to completely change the way we work once more. Because the automation of many of these fields in industry, in again agriculture, but also in healthcare, is really going to make it so that us human beings have to take a different approach to work, right? We have to educate ourselves more, we have to keep educating ourselves. Because it's not anymore about losing your job, it's about a constantly changing job.
AI is changing the labor market, and it will affect not only blue-collar jobs. However, AI will create jobs as well. The question is, how are we going to adapt to these changes?
So far, the automation that we have seen usually had societal benefits overall. So replaced a lot of manual labor in agriculture with machinery, and so we now have much fewer farmers than we used to have. Well, less than 10% of what we used to have only 50 years ago. And yet that hasn't led to mass unemployment, even though many people used to work in that area. So the question is, how is it going to be this time? Unlike in the previous waves of automation, I think the unemployment will be in what's called white-collar jobs. HSBC, which is a big worldwide bank, is going to make 10,000 people redundant, and other big banks are doing the same. So these are highly paid and thus expensive people. So some of them will be made unemployed because you can automate a lot of the banking activities nowadays.
Some associate AI with a dystopian future in which mankind is enslaved by robots. But how accurate is that? Well, not at all. However, any innovation brings its own challenges. For example, what are people going to do when AI takes over their jobs? Or how do we distribute the wealth created by AI? And what do we do when AI solves problems in an unintended way?
So I think people are scared of the change, right? And that's also why they close their eyes to the change this is going to bring about, which is a very dangerous thing to do, because the only way to prepare for something is, or to not go under such a technology is by preparing for it. And another very big danger to our society and to our planet is also not applying artificial intelligence fast enough. We see this with in the sector of mobility, that the Netherlands is very slow to accept self-driving cars. And I mean, you can have an endless discussion about where the responsibility lies if there is an accident. But the reality, which is way more important, is that we will have less accidents, right? So we could be saving lives, but we are not, because we are not applying AI enough.
I think there are an enormous amount of really positive things that can be done with AI. I think AI will generate enormous productivity gains, which means wealth. So I think we will have significant increase in the economic activity due to these technological developments. And that will allow all sorts of good things. Hopefully, this will spread to those who need it most. So we are on a reasonable path towards reducing famine and deaths from avoidable diseases and wars. And these are really the things that pressure us most.
So really take the responsibility to increase your own consciousness about these kinds of things, and to educate yourself, read the news, and act with intent.